For my Safe Space project, I created what I have titled as the Zenith Point Safe Space. In astronomy, the zenith is the point on the celestial sphere directly above an observer, representing the highest point that celestial objects can reach from the observer's location. For myself, as a child, my zenith point was the big zenith television, where I would lose myself on Saturday mornings when my siblings were asleep and construct a fantasy land that would take me away from the home. This project began with a memory, small, quiet, but powerful. That memory of sitting in front of the old Zenith television on Saturday mornings, sometimes surrounded by noise, but finding a moment of peace, even in tuning out where nothing but the serial and the imagination on the screen existed. From that memory, Zenith Point Safe Space was born, and my symbolic structure is one that explores the connection between vulnerability, memory, and healing. It's a glass house, both fragile and transparent, a space where emotions are visible, where stories can be told without judgment, and where the inner child still searching for safety finally finds home. As well, it meant that others can see through it. I am no longer hidden behind the walls that would have been used to hide abuse and neglect. Through personal artifacts, sensory symbolism, and art therapy principles, this project reflects the human experience of carrying pain and the transformative power of turning that pain into something whole. This is not just about me, it's about all of us, our hidden stories, our unspoken grief, and the quiet strength that healing asks of us. Creating this space wasn't just a project. It was a personal process of remembering, reconnecting, and reimagining. The glass house itself became the heart of this journey. At first, I didn't know how I would bring the vision to life. I struggled with the idea of structure, how to build something that held so much emotional weight, yet remained open and transparent. Especially as I was sitting in an open space where everything that I owned was packed up. And then by chance, I found it. This little house at a thrift store. Its clear walls reflected the very tension I was feeling, the desire to be seen, but also protected. From there, each element I added held a piece of my story. Every object inside the house wasn't random. It was chosen with intention, connected to a memory, a feeling, or a moment of survival. To bring these moments to life, I turned to the simple, accessible materials I had after moving, and I used the little house, recycled cardboard, natural fibers, plants, metal, acrylic paint, markers, an eraser, clay that reminded me of Play-Doh, and found rocks. These choices weren't just practical, they were symbolic. They reflect the raw, unfiltered nature of memory and the idea that healing doesn't require expensive tools, just honesty and imagination. The five senses became the central piece of the structure of the safe space I created. Inside the glass house, I placed symbolic objects that represented each sense and how it connected to those formative moments. An old TV shell for sight and sound, a ceramic cereal bowl filled with powdered milk and Fruit Loops for taste, a small cloth with a faint animal smell scent with my dog, who I do not have memories of, and I created her into a robot touch, and a soft blanket reminiscent of childhood comfort. Each item serves as a time capsule of sorts, connecting the body and the memory. When reflecting on the five senses, the rug under my robot dog is a piece of my emotional support dog's toy that tore off while we were playing and fit the process. My dog being this strange, alien, sort of item flat and not realistic is due to the trauma. My dog was stolen when we were moving when I was 9 years old. She had become a part of our family a week before I was born, and I don't remember her at all. The gaps of my memories, blacked out by trauma, has made her something that I only know was there, from pictures of us as toddlers hiding inside the kitchen cabinets to knowing that she was stolen. In the back corner of my television, I intentionally did not secure it as a secret door where I could hide if needed in my safe space. The cereal bowl and the brain that represents myself were crafted out of clay that was a little like Play-Doh and really let that child come alive in the process. I originally was going to create myself as 3 brains, but decided that we were one. And so I created the brain with 3 defined areas and colors to reflect on the ways that childhood trauma can significantly alter 3 key brain regions: the amygdala, hippocampus, and prefrontal cortex. The sculptural me brain, with only 3 functional zones, has the one for escaping into the television, one constantly on alert for danger, and one simply surviving, reflecting the fragmentation of a young mind coping with trauma, creative, vigilant, and numbed. In the corner is a still heart holding what was a living thing, but as it holds negativity surrounding me, the branch has wilted. Despite the heaviness, the installation includes a gesture towards healing. Scattered in the corners are small stones, objects I used to collect as a child and bring home, sometimes with no clear reason, but always with care. This is something that continues today. These rocks became quiet, symbolic tokens of grounding and self-protection. They now serve as reminders of even small intentional acts can hold meaning. One of the biggest challenges was figuring out how to physically represent something so emotional. I had to constantly ask myself, how do you show what it feels like to grow up scared? Or how to find comfort in something small? Because I was going through this during some pretty complex emotions, also while jumping into therapy myself every week to tackle my own issues, causing a lot of chronic fatigue flare-ups and a lot of days of disassociation. So it wasn't easy. It took trial and error, but each setback became part of the process, just like healing itself, messy, layered, and unexpected. It came together. Although simplistic in nature, it also reflects the poverty that I grew up in, never having much to use. In creating this model, I found myself not just remembering, but actively engaging with my past in a way I hadn't before. I learned how much of me still exists in those early memories and how art gave me a new language for expressing things I didn't always have words for. It reminded me of the inner child still present, still seeking peace, and showed me how creativity can be both a mirror and a tool for transformation. This project also gave me a deeper appreciation for the power of art therapy in diverse and underserved communities. Not everyone has access to traditional therapy. I have been so privileged that I found a therapist that when my divorce started, transitioned me to pro bono. As well, I know many people do not have a way to create a safe, expressive space, which can be a profound form of healing. For people navigating trauma, displacement, or systemic marginalization, art becomes more than a creative outlet. It becomes a voice, a sanctuary, and sometimes a revolution. In that way, Zenith Point Safe Space is not just mine, it's an invitation to others to create, to share, and to heal together. One of the final aspects of my art installation piece is a poem that I crafted into a song about the Zenith Point. As I was going through a lot of the abuse, during my marriage, I would write because I knew I couldn't write in journals because my ex would read them. So I would write poems and I would write books because I knew that he wouldn't read them. And in a way, that was my way of creating that safe space. So I will read you the poem, and then if you would like, you can end the video or you can listen to the song and see what comes up to the surface for you, as I feel like music is just an additional frequency. Zenith Point. In flickering light, an early morning gleam, a tiny hand, a whispered dream. She watched, eyes white and bright, right. A world within, escaping fright. No dusty attic, no garden wall, but pixel forests standing tall. A land of magic where skies cascade, where whispered spells were always displayed. She sought the zenith, the singular prize, a point of power that could not hide. A place where wishes, soft and deep, would spark like stars while her shadows sleep. Through rainbows far and near, she bravely believed, past talking trees, whose stories trailed the wounds. She climbed the mountains, sharp and tilted, where crystal dragons, secrets kept, within her heart wilted. The zenith called, a distant hum, a shimmering peak where wonders come. It wasn't gold nor jeweled crown, but knowing safety, though never found, within her heart wilted. She found it then, a quieted space, within her heart, space, within her heart, a gentle grace. The zenith point, a steady light, her inner strength where warriors fight. The television faded, screen turned gray, Under the smiles, she'd found her way. The magic wasn't on the screen, you see, but in her soul eternally. Hidden parts of the soul, waiting to believe the whole, can be divided and then remembered again. The zenith point of her, retrieved safe within. Through rainbows far and near, she bravely believed, past talking trees, whose stories trailed the wounds. She climbed the mountains, sharp and tilted, where crystal dragons, secrets kept, within her heart wilted.
In flickering light, an early morning gleam, a tiny hand, a whispered dream. She watched, eyes wide and bright, a world within, escaping fright. No dusty attic, no garden wall, but pixel forest standing tall. A land of magic, where skies cascade, where whispered spells were always displayed. She sought the zenith, the singular prize, a point of power that could not hide, a place where wishes, soft and deep, would spark like stars while her shadows sleep. Through rainbows far and near, she bravely believed, past talking trees, whose stories trailed the wounds. She climbed the mountains, sharp and tilted, where crystal dragons, secrets kept within her heart wilted. The zenith called a distant hum, a shimmering peak where wonders come. It wasn't gold or jeweled crown, but knowing safety, though never found within her heart wilted. She found it within, a quiet, its space within her heart. Space within her heart, a gentle grace. The zenith point, a steady light, her inner strength where warriors fight. The television faded, screen turned gray. Under the smile, she found her way. The magic wasn't on the screen, you see, but in her soul, eternally. Hidden parts of the soul, waiting to believe.